guys, it's Danny Bell. I hope you guys are having an awesome day today so far. Today we are sharing 10 realistic Citycore build ideas on the channel. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm so glad you're here, and to all of the subscribers, welcome back. I decided it's sort of become tradition, you guys, when we finish up in Island to do a 10 ideas video after the fact, just to kind of sum everything up, and I cannot wait to share this with you guys. If you missed the Honeybelle journey, we had so much fun, and please check out the playlist for detailed breakdowns of all the builds and things like that you'll be seeing in this video today. But without further ado, let's get going. So number one, we have a 7-Eleven convenience store. I love this. I don't know what it was about all of the realistic builds that became popular in Animal Crossing last year, but I really definitely wanted to do a 7-Eleven on the island. I knew that it was one of the first things I wanted to do, and that's what we did here, using a ton of the Takanoma item and some of the backwards diner signs. Oh my gosh, really love this. This build is fantastic for day or evening. I really love it, and in fact, I think I'm gonna actually upload the Honeybelle dream address in the evening, so that way if you want to check out any of these builds and what they look like at night, you'll be able to see those versions of this. But really like the concept of these faux buildings, and this one in particular, I just love it. It's for sure a staple, something I remember all throughout the years growing up, getting a 7-Eleven Slurpee in the summertime. Now Frida's house, all of the villager houses are sort of incorporated as interactive pieces with all of these builds that we're looking at today, and Frida's house is sort of meant to look like the inside of a convenience store, 7-Eleven, and as well as a BP gas station. Her house is sort of nestled in between both of those two builds on the island, and so I wanted to make sure that I sort of incorporated both of those, but really loved being able to use a lot of these different canned good items, store shelves, things like that in this build. All right, next on the list, number 2 is our Whole Foods Market. Love this one. I was really trying to come up with something creative because I feel like there's so many fantastic ideas in our community. I've seen some amazing Target builds. Spirit of Halloween was something that was really popular last month for October, and I for sure wanted to do some sort of supermarket on the channel. Now this one is not interactive, but I feel like, you know, if you were to recreate this on your island, you could very easily incorporate a villager house and do like a legit grocery store, or you could keep the backside of the island sort of hollow and in a U shape and create your own interactive build sort of directly behind it. But I was really excited with how this one came together. I loved using the darling little shopping carts. I mean, guys, the shopping carts are probably one of my new favorite items from the 2.0 update last year. Love the little plant stand, and all of the vehicles, of course, I think make a huge difference when creating the look of a realistic city, any type of build really. But really happy with how this Whole Foods came together. Like this build a lot, and I hope you guys will try this for yourselves on your island. Okay, next on the list we have number 3 is our Petco Pet Store. Love this one as well. I tried to incorporate all of the blue and red colors from the sign itself in the build, and we ended up doing an interior for Biscuit for this one. Really love the concept of using different things like the garden bunny and the lucky cat, as well as the puppy plushie and the hamster. I mean, I've been looking for a legit use for the hamster item for probably like 3 years, so I was really excited to be able to come up with some different creative ideas on how to incorporate some of these items. We also added a small tiny little puppy park on the side because that was something I had on the island originally, and I was really quite sad to tear it down, and so I decided to just create a small version of that right next door adjacent to the Petco store itself. And we've got a little loading dock on the left side, just using a lot of the different things like the cat tower and a truck and some cardboard boxes just to kind of mesh everything together. But yeah, really happy with how this one came together, and I just love the ambiance of all of the contained chaos with the puppies. I mean, look how cute they are. They're so fun. I love the puppy plushies. I can't even. Let's head inside Biscuit's house because I can't wait for you guys to see the interior of this house. It's been really fun sort of making each of these builds interactive. So let's head inside and you can see how the interior came together for Biscuit. Hi, buddy. Oh my gosh, look at him with his coffee. Amazing. Love him. So we actually have a little rabbit section. I try to create the look of a fish section. Now, the villager houses are really small on this game, and sadly, even though you can unlock the ability to redecorate the interior and exterior of the villager homes, you can't change the dimensions of them. You're sort of stuck with just this fairly small space, but just for an example, you really can still create a small space like this to look built to look bigger than it actually is just by creating a little storeroom in the back with a couple of the wall partitions. I think it still is really perfectly able to capture what you're trying to do on your builds, really and truly. And I love that they're small enough that you can create the look without it being completely overwhelming. I tend to get a little bit overwhelmed with the interior builds on my islands, and so this was a really fun challenge to sort of find different ways to incorporate the smaller villager house spaces and sort of create interior interactive type of builds on the island. Okay, up next we have, for number 4, we have a Sephora cosmetic store. Really love this one. We did this build for Blair, and I don't know, I had Blair on the brain because I've never had her before in an island, and she's super, super cute, a little black squirrel, and she has the black and white stripes. So I just felt like she was perfectly on brand for Sephora, and the fact that she's a snooty type, I think is perfect to be a cosmetics girl, like all about the beauty and the fashion. So yeah, perfect for her. We went ahead and redecorated her house just to be a little bit more monotone. The monotone look of the house, I think, adds a lot to the build, and I'm really happy with it. Oh my gosh, check this out. I love this custom design. I was luckily able to find a lot of these patterns on the portal by searching keywords. But if you're looking for these specific patterns to use back on your islands, I do list all of the custom designs in the description of all of the build videos that I do on the channel. So please check out the individual build videos in the Honeybelle playlist if you're looking for any of these specific codes to use on your islands. This one sort of is like the Sephora, I don't know what you'd call it, like a stall or something like that, but I think using the glow-in-the-dark stickers on the wall all around the ceiling, I think added a lot to this specific build, and then doing the neon lights all the way around, I think added a lot as well. So it was really fun kind of putting this together and trying to come up with different creative ways to create the look of this store in her house, and I think it came together pretty well. She looks pretty happy, so if she's happy, I'm happy. All right, next on the list, number 5, we have an Olive Garden Italian restaurant. I love this restaurant, guys. I feel like I would eat here all the time if I could, because, oh my gosh, the pasta, the soup, the salad, and the breadsticks, who doesn't love Olive Garden, right? I mean, oh my goodness. And I knew I wanted one of these. This was probably the first build that I thought of that I wanted to do on the island for sure when deciding to do a realistic Citycore. So I'm happy with how this came together. It was really great being able to use some of the medieval building sides. I think having that item in the game with the real bricks just adds a lot of depth and character to the builds that we're able to do. We created this cute little outdoor patio section back here because I feel like that was really important for ambiance sake, and then just sort of trimming everything out with some of the plain party lights. And for this one, we ended up doing the villager house directly next door. I felt like for Marlowe, I wanted some of the buildings to sort of be encased around the villager houses, and then also do some that were set aside. All right, let's pop inside. This is Marlowe's place. Love him. He's the perfect little maitre d' for Olive Garden. I love his little glasses, love his jacket. Oh my gosh, he's so cute, I can't even. But we created a lot of nice ambiance in here with the chandeliers and the wedding tables, and just kind of created the look of a little bar hangout on the backside, because there's usually a waiting area in Olive Garden where you can kind of sit, relax, have some sangria, something like that while you're waiting for your table. And that was kind of the idea behind this particular part of the build. We used a lot of the glow-in-the-dark stickers on the back of the wall over there with the Olive Garden sign, and then just using some of the, I don't know what you'd call it. It's almost like a garden stone path, something like that, just as part of the wallpaper on the back part of the restaurant. And then just using creative sort of gorgeous art pieces here on the sides just to kind of tie everything together for the restaurant. But yeah, really happy with how this one came together for Marlowe. Okay, next on the list, we have a Panera Bread Company store. Oh my gosh, another one that I definitely wanted to have for sure on the island that has been on my to-do list for a while. Some of these builds, I honestly, guys, I was thinking of what to do with some of these realistic city builds while we were still working on our Tropicore island, Cocoa Bell. I really wanted to thoroughly do a Citycore island, and I love the realistic ideas. Being able to use the brands, I think, like I said, creates a new relatability on an island, and just really love how this came together. We created a drive-up area for the car over there on the side, and then this one we encased the villager house, but I did it in a slightly different shape for this particular build rather than just the basic U shape, and really happy I did, because I think doing different shapes of buildings makes it a little more convincing as well as far as making things look realistic. We utilized this giant rock back here to create a little sitting and patio area so you can kind of relax, have your scones and your coffee or your tea, and kind of watch the water and relax in the morning. Love this little drive-through area, like I said. Loved all of the patterns that we were able to come up with and use on the island. So like I said, I have the sidewalk and street patterns, things like that saved in all of the build videos for the Honeybelle playlist. So please check out the description of those individual build videos if you want to use these patterns for yourselves back on your islands. All right, let's pop inside so you guys can see. We actually did Sasha's house for this build, and stop, look at him. How cute is he? Being a lazy type, having his snack shop right here, whenever he needs it, any time of day really, he can have a baguette, a bagel, a pie, a scone, a donut, whatever he wants, because he's so cute and he's totally worth it. We used a lot of the different lighting elements in here and used some of these medium wooden partitions with the slats. I really like this because I feel like with the villager houses, since they are so small, it's nice having different pieces like this that sort of can separate out parts of a small space, but you can still see through them, so it doesn't make the space look crunched or too small or claustrophobic or anything like that. I think it just really adds a lot. And then being able to use some of the ceiling items, like I said, I think adds a lot to a build like this. Stuff that we didn't have prior to the 2.0 update. I think it really makes the builds a lot more filled with character and just fun, and just a lot more options for builds and things like that for the game. So yeah, really happy with how this one came together too. All right, number 7 on our list of realistic Citycore build ideas is, of course, a Starbucks coffee. One of my favorite places in real life to visit. I love coffee. I probably have way too much every single day, and we started off our realistic builds with this particular build. I love it, love Raymond. So of course we had to put him in charge of it. We're gonna pop inside real quick so you can see how the interior came together. Oh my gosh, look at him sleeping on the job. Yeah, really happy with how this came together. I think it has a real cafe type of feel, especially like I've mentioned before, the villager houses are very small to work with, but I think we were able to kind of cram in all the different furniture pieces that really give the look and element for this type of build. And yeah, love the menu signs that you can use on the ceiling. I love that we can use accent walls too. I think having a cafe accent wall on this particular build added a lot. We added some glow-in-the-dark stickers at the top of the ceiling with the Starbucks stall, just to kind of add a little bit of trim at the top of the building. And yeah, just adding a lot of warm tones, the brown and the green and everything that's perfectly on brand for Starbucks. I think it came together pretty nicely, and I'm really happy with how this turned out. Definitely a place I'd like to visit in real life. Next on our list of realistic Citycore builds is Abercrombie and Fitch. Love this clothing store. This is one of my favorites from growing up. I just really always remember this store. It was always a mad dash to see what new items they had in, and wanted to create a cozy sort of autumn-like clothing store for the island, and Abercrombie, of course, was one of the ones that I decided would be perfect. We ended up recruiting Eric to be the store owner for Abercrombie, which of course is perfectly on brand. Love that little guy. He is so sweet. We have our Abercrombie model here in the background, and if you're looking for ways on how to create a lot of different really detailed custom design codes, please check out that video using acpatterns.com, which is an amazing website that you can use to create your own custom design patterns on your islands. Yeah, check it out. It's totally amazing. Let's check out the interior. Hi, buddy. Oh my gosh, how cute is he? He's so cute. He's even wearing the right sweater for the day too. Oh, what a great little salesman. I wanted to create the warmth in the interior of Abercrombie and Fitch. This is definitely a place that I remember feeling very loud, and it's just a loud place to shop. There was always like way overly cranked up music, and just the smell of the Abercrombie cologne in the air, and all of the flannels and sweaters, and oh my gosh, just amazing. Super loved it. Loved the store. So I wanted to create a little bit of a memory for myself here by creating this build, but I'm really happy with how it came together. I love all of the clothing rack items that we got, and I think that that really adds a lot when you're creating your own little shops and boutiques on your island. Love that we can customize them to sort of go with the right color tonation, things like that, depending on what you're creating, whether it's something like a Hot Topic store, Abercrombie, or Gap, anything like that. I think it's really nice to have the ability to have these clothing racks. You can customize them to kind of go with the brand that you're using, and yeah, really happy with how this one came together too. All right, next on our list of realistic city build ideas, we have an Amazon warehouse. Now, this is actually the secret beach on Honeybelle 2.0. I wanted to do something different. I feel like I tend to be the type of person that I bury the secret beach. It's usually like 2 or 3 tiers high, just kind of way below down behind there hidden. And I wanted to open this area up, and I decided that I thought it would be fun to put Red to work. I think that he needs to be the new Amazon Prime driver on the island, and Lord only knows if the packages will ever really truly make it to any of our villagers, but I thought it would be a fun way to incorporate the secret beach area for a Citycore island. I have an ATM machine over here, which actually is quite convenient. In case Red happens to be visiting, you can grab some bells before buying some of his fake artwork that he likes to sell. We created this tiny little interactive space for the Amazon Prime postal area over here, and just wanted to kind of create a little bit of interactivity for this build, even though we did not actually do a villager house tied to this particular area. Now, you totally could. You could definitely do something like that for the Amazon Prime thing and create your own little interior post office. All right, next on the list is Kick Sporting Goods. This is our last idea for the build ideas video today. I love this. I really was struggling to come up with an idea for the campsite on the island for Citycore, and decided that it would be fun to do a Kick Sporting Goods store. That way it kind of gives us the ability to use all of the sporting goods items as well as some camping items. And I think that it's a really convincing way to be able to use the campsite rather than just plopping it on the beach. And I really like how it came together. I think that Kix, especially since he is just a very, very majorly favorite NPC in the game Animal Crossing, I was really excited that this amazing creator had sort of created this sign that's a take on Dick's Sporting Goods. I thought it was perfect to be able to use this signage and then kind of use the wide display cases in the front to create the look of a real storefront, things like that, and the kids' tents, of course, in the corner. Just having a lot of these camping type of items for sale on display outside, I thought would work really well for this. All right, guys, that's all for today. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. I hope that any of these ideas bring inspiration to you that you can take back to use on your islands. I know that we have had so much fun doing a realistic Citycore island here on the channel. I hope you enjoyed this series, and I'm really excited to start the next series. We'll be doing some subscriber island tours here in the next week or so, and we're also going to be jumping into our new island theme. Now, winter is here. I know. I tend to be the person that skips winter too, but I thought it would be fun if we actually changed things up, started from scratch, restarting with a brand new island, and we could do a tundra style island with all of the winter style villagers doing a more natural sort of decor. So if that sort of theme interests you, please join us for that. We're also probably going to be incorporating a little bit of Disney Dreamlight Valley into the channel as well. I got some very positive feedback from you guys, and so we'll be playing around a little bit with that as well, and then doing more subscriber island tours, and then sort of checking back in to do more build videos on our new island. I cannot wait. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Wishing you all an amazing day. Take care, and we'll see you in the next one.